family, parents, grandparents, siblings, and friends of our candidates. On behalf of the Maastricht University, and particularly on behalf of the Faculty of Health, Medicine and Life Sciences, I would like to welcome all of you here in the St. Jan's Church to this very special meeting of the Board of Examiners. I, of course, would like to also welcome everybody who's not able to participate in person today, but may be following us through the live stream. My name is Tanja Adam. I'm the chair of the Board of Examiners. The session is organized in the St. Jan's Church. This is a church that is more than 800 years old. And since 1632, it's the Protestant church in Maastricht, and we're very grateful to the Reformed Council that we can use this very unique and particularly festive location for this graduation ceremony. The Master of Human Movement Sciences has 3 tracks: health and rehabilitation, physiotherapy, and sports and nutrition. And today, 23 candidates will graduate from the track Sports and Nutrition, one of which will graduate cum laude, and 2 candidates will graduate from the track Physiotherapy. Before we get started, I would also like to briefly introduce the 2 gentlemen to my right. That is Dr. Lex Verdijk. He is the overall coordinator of the master's program, and Dr. Tim Schneiders. He's the thesis coordinator and course coordinator in the program. And since this is an official and formal event, I would like to open it formally with the gavel. So first I would like to give the floor to Lex Verdijk. He's going to start the ceremony with a welcome note to all of you.
Thank you, Tanja. All right, dear students, or actually dear almost human movement sciences colleagues, welcome to your own graduation. I'm very happy that many of you were able to be present here today, and of course with this speech I'm not only talking to you but also the ones that cannot be here, as they are officially also graduating today. So this is for all of you. I'm going to start with a bit of a sort of a quote. It's tempting to start the speech at the graduation ceremony by looking back at the amazing sport events of last summer, especially the Olympics and the Paralympics in Paris. Most of you probably saw some of the finals for triple medalists Harila Vrijse, Sifan Hassan, Femke Bol, or Jetse Plat. Or maybe even the double gold for handbiker Mitch Verlies, who is actually a former human movement sciences student. All these athletes and their accomplishments remind us of what is possible with dedication, hard work, and not to forget, a good supervisory team, including nutritionists and sports scientists, that enable them to optimally prepare for their endeavors. Now, some of you may recognize part of what I just described as a free translation of what our king mentioned in his speech addressing the recent plans of our newly installed government. Since today is a joyful day, I'm not going to go into that entire speech, obviously, or the plans, some of them which fall into the category of not so good news for most of us as exercise scientists. But I can't help sharing that I'm a little bit worried regarding the plans to cut the overall budget for research and education and to increase the taxes for various sports-related activities, from watching sports to actually gym subscriptions or swimming lessons. It's quite a hard message, considering the fact that an active lifestyle is probably the #1 factor that can and should be used to improve not only performance, but also our overall health and quality of life throughout our entire society. In fact, you just spent your past year or years to learn what optimizing physical activity as well as nutrition can do to your body and your health. Anyway, about 1 or for some of you 2 years ago, you started your journey to become a Master of Science in Human Movement Sciences. And today you've reached your goal. And I'm quite honored to stand here and be able to congratulate all of you on behalf of Maastricht University and the Faculty of Health, Medicine and Life Sciences with that great achievement. In successfully completing our master's program, you are now ready to start your career, pursue your professional ambitions, find something that really interests you, and hopefully acknowledge how your education as a Master of Human Movement Sciences has helped you along the way. That may have been primarily the content or the topics that were discussed, which may have given you the specific knowledge or the skills you need in your job. Or it may be the Maastricht PBL system that has prepared you to speak up, collaborate with different disciplines, different people from the Netherlands, Germany, Belgium, Austria, UK, France, you name it. Or maybe it was the Dutch directness that taught you to provide and receive honest feedback and as such become a better team player. Or it could have been any combination of these issues, along with only talking, reading and writing in English, stressing to find a placement and preparing to go abroad maybe. All of that has been part of your time studying human movement sciences at Maastricht University. And despite any ups and downs you may have had, you all made it to the end, because you're here today. You managed to successfully finish your studies, and now we are here to officially celebrate that moment. Today we are handing out 75 diplomas to students from all 3 specializations. In the previous session there were already 33 diplomas for health and rehabilitation and 4 diplomas for physiotherapy. And as we just heard, we're now handing out 23 for sports nutrition and 2 for physiotherapy. And then there's another 13 people that could not be here today. Looking back at the years that lie behind you, you have deepened your knowledge of human movement in a specific area. You have strengthened your skills in applying that knowledge. And above all, you have further developed your scientific thinking and your critical mindset on how to interpret and perform and present research in this area. And it's quite an important area. We know that more than half of our population does not move around enough, whereas every day evidence is accumulating that maintaining or adopting a physically active lifestyle actually reduces the risk for cardiac disease, metabolic disease, cancer, cognitive decline and Alzheimer, and even less obvious health complaints, such as gut issues or mental depression. Simply put, whether it is a specific exercise or general daily activity, being physically active is associated with a longer and, more importantly, a healthier lifespan. And then, at the other end of the spectrum, both the fun and performance factor in sports remain key areas that have always, and will always probably, draw a lot of attention in our society. How can we optimize physical, mental and nutritional status during long-lasting sports events? How can we maintain optimal fitness in elite athletes to become Olympic champions? Look at all the Team NL athletes succeeding in bringing home a bronze or a silver or a gold medal. A major part of their success was the investment of not only those athletes, but also the staff, including performance coaches, exercise physiologists, nutritionists and embedded scientists, quite a few of whom actually started their career right here in Maastricht. In other words, whether it is sports-related, fitness-related or general health-related, there's a clear need for knowledgeable people that understand the importance of human movement and that can bring across that message to society in general. With the knowledge and the skills that you've gained over the past year or years, you will be able to contribute to shaping part of the future for our society. And some of you will do that in a research setting, further establishing an evidence base for the best ways to promote health or performance. I've already heard from a number of students that they are already starting or have started a PhD project. And others will use their knowledge to educate professionals in the field. And then others will implement their knowledge and skills more in the practical setting, working as a healthcare professional, a government advisor, an R&D specialist in a company, or maybe a personal trainer or supervisor, working for a rehab institute or sports institute like Team NL. It may not be an even road that lies ahead of you, but you've taken the first hurdle. And in due time, we firmly believe that human movement scientists are really eagerly awaited for to generate and implement knowledge that can help solve problems that may affect many people in our society now, but also in the future. As I mentioned, today we deliver 75 new human movement scientists to the world. And you will all get your 10 seconds of fame, and Tanja will explain that in a minute, in the spotlight here up front. But there's 2 names that I would already like to briefly mention. First, we have Lars van Rengs, being the only student within the sports nutrition specialization, but this year actually the only student for the entire Human Movement Sciences Master that will graduate with the distinction. So congratulations, Lars, with that honorable achievement. Very good. Secondly, I already want to thank Maud Reintjes, as she accepted my invitation to speak to you today more from a student perspective. Very much appreciated already. And then finally, as you may or may not know, we constantly strive to improve the content of what we offer to our students. But we can only do that if we also get feedback from you. as students on what is good and where there's what we call room for improvement. That also goes for us, obviously. So most of the feedback on our program is generally quite positive, but there's always some insightful critical notes that we can and that we will take into account to maintain, but also further improve the quality of our human movement sciences education. So thanks not only for choosing our program, but also for providing us with feedback on that program. With that, I want to end by congratulating all of you with obtaining your master's degree. And I do that on behalf of the faculty and on behalf of all the academic staff involved in the program. And especially also on behalf of Rob de Bie and Bart Bongers as co-coordinators of the program and Tim Snijders as the thesis coordinator, sitting next to me, obviously. But I really also congratulate you on behalf of myself, and not just as the program coordinator, but more so as one of your new colleagues. I sincerely wish you all the best in your professional career, but maybe importantly, in life in general. It would be great to stay in touch, and if you agree, then make sure, if you've not already done so, to join our Human Movement Sciences alumni group on LinkedIn. I already spammed you last weekend, actually, on your university email, so you're invited now. Then my congratulations obviously also go to all your parents and family members, partners, husbands, wives, friends, everybody else who's joining us today, either here or online. You can also all be very proud. And then finally for you, the last words. I hope you will enjoy your well-deserved new status as a Master of Human Movement Sciences. And thank you very much for listening to me for one last time.
Thanks, Lex. Yeah, like Lex said, we're going to start the official graduation part now. And I'm going to explain to you how we're going to do that real quick. So we're going to be calling your names. That will be in alphabetical order. Although Lars will be first as the cum laude student, and then we follow in alphabetical order. And after that, you come to the podium, and I'm gonna will congratulate you, and I am very happy to be the first one who can do that. And then you will move on to Lex, and he will give you the diploma or the certificate, and you will receive a rose from Tim, and then you can stand on that corner right there on the podium. Don't fall off the podium, please. Pay attention to that. And a picture of you will be taken. So take all your time. Like Lex said, this is your time to shine here. And then I will call the next candidate. In between, Maud will going to give a short speech. And I'm going to call you when it's your turn, Maud. Yeah? Okay. Then we're going to start with Lars Renks.
Gefeliciteerd, Lars.
Dank u wel.
Our next candidate is Savas Apalidis. Jurre Bakker.
Thank you. Nice. Gefeliciteerd, Jurre. Dankjewel. Leuk. Merci. Zal maar even netjes doen. Ja. Merci.
Physiotherapy track is graduating Judith Braaf. Ermers.
Gefeliciteerd.
Ja.
Sterre de Gooijer.
Gefeliciteerd, Sterre.
Dankjewel.
Next new master is Sander Hendricks.
Gefeliciteerd.
Dank je wel.
Lisanne Hutten.
Gefeliciteerd.
So you gotta bear with me. You are not as international as the other groups, but you're still somewhat international, so I really try to do my best to pronounce your names correctly. If I don't do that, so please bear with me. So the next is Louise Impai. I did not do that right? I can see that from your face.
Congratulations.
Jenna Janssen.
Dankjewel.
Gefeliciteerd.
Dankjewel.
Sharel Kooijman.
Gefeliciteerd.
Ragnar Masson.
Congratulations.
Jeroen Matties.
Gefeliciteerd, Jeroen.
Now I would like to call Maud to the podium for her speech.
Okay, so Lex asked me to tell you something about our master's year from a student's perspective, and I think we can all agree that it wasn't an easy year. We faced some challenges, had moments of doubt and plenty of late nights, but we made it through, and not only as individuals, but together supporting and learning from one another. Before I started this master's, I graduated from an applied science study. And my vision back then from university was always that every student would be treated like a number and everyone could be completely invisible here. Well, not at Maastricht University with their PBL system. The first tutorial already started with go have a conversation with your neighbor, find out a fun fact about them, and then introduce them to the whole group. And it went on with the explanation that everyone needed to be a chair once, and a chair is someone who leads the discussion, and it also had to involve others, ask questions, and make sure that everyone participated. And even in lectures where I thought I could just sit back, take some notes and listen, a lot of questions were asked towards us. So at the beginning, speaking up in English and discussing complex theories was pretty scary. But as the year went on, I started to see why this interaction and thinking actively about the theory was so important. By discussing and explaining the theory with others, you really understand the material on a way deeper level, and you also remember it for much longer. However, it would have been nice if the tutor sometimes just gave a straight answer to our questions instead of answering our questions with another question. So within these tutorials, we worked towards our exams. And the weeks leading up to these exams were filled with hours of learning, study sessions at the library, rewatching lectures of Jorn at double speed, and the ones from Tim and Lex at half speed. And to make it a bit easier, we bought some summaries from Stuvia and shared the costs. So these periods were always very stressful, but it also gave a feeling of doing this all together. And then the relief after the exams was amazing. We also had some writing assignments, like the introduction assignment, which seemed pretty straightforward. We had written introductions before, so how hard could it be? But then we received the grade, and literally everyone in our tutorial group failed. So of course the reaction of us as students was, if everyone failed, then there must be a mistake, or the explanation wasn't right then. However, we received a lot of feedback about our introductions, and luckily everyone passed the resit and probably learned a lot from the critical feedback. This master was apart from a lot of theory about protein and carbohydrates, also quite practical. We had a trip to the KNVB in Zeist and learned a lot about the nutrition of our football players. And we also had a practical lesson once a week where we learn and perform about tests like cycling 5 kilometers as fast as you can, doing 100 drop-down jumps from a table, or cycling for as long as you can with increasing resistance. And for some of us here, this was a piece of cake. We have some very dedicated athletes among us. We have some marathon runners, some skilled crossfitters, some great cyclists, and some wannabe bodybuilders. While I only play korfball once a week and drink a beer afterwards, as we know now is not beneficial for your sports performance. So I always hoped that I did not have to perform these tests. Most of the time it was rock, paper, scissors, shoot who was going to perform it. Many excuses about injuries and muscle soreness were made because it was also very awkward. The one performing the test was completely out of breath and sweating everywhere, while the other students were just sitting there and watching. And sometimes we had to yell at them really hard to encourage them. Looking back at it, it was actually really fun and a great way to learn how you could use these tests in practice with athletes. After the Christmas break, everyone started on their internship. Some stayed in Maastricht, others moved back to their hometown or even moved abroad. We learned a lot about the research field, and we also learned some new skills, like helping with muscle biopsies, taking blood samples, or doing cycling tests with participants, and so on. Looking back on this intense year, I met so many wonderful and talented individuals from all different backgrounds and unique stories, and from all over the world. So as we close this chapter and move on to whatever comes next, I really hope that we can all take a moment to be proud of what we've accomplished. We've worked hard, learned a lot, and grown probably more than we realize. So I really hope that wherever we go, we can stay in contact. Thank you, and congratulations to all of us.
Thank you very much, Maud. Very interesting what you're all doing during the master. So we're going to continue now with Bram Mennen.
Gefeliciteerd, Bram.
Fleur Oors.
Gefeliciteerd.
Thomas Pereira.
Dank je. Gefeliciteerd. Dankjewel.
Remy Kwijzen.
Gefeliciteerd.
En Maud Reintjes.
Dankjewel.
Gefeliciteerd, Maud.
Dankjewel.
And from physiotherapy is graduating Emma Shore.
Gefeliciteerd.
Imme Steenhorst.
Gefeliciteerd.
Audrey Thijssen. Annemijn Tjeertes. Emma van den Berg.
Gefeliciteerd.
Nienke Wasmus.
Gefeliciteerd.
En Tycho Zeilen.
Vertigo.
And as a personal address from me to our new masters, I would like to borrow the words of someone else, words which have been pretty inspirational to me and still are, actually. It's coming from an essay written as a hypothetical commencement speech by the columnist Mary Schmich. Originally, that work was published in 1997 in the Chicago Tribune. It was also released. Some parents who may be more around my age may still remember that as a song by Baz Luhrmann, the sunscreen song. So, ladies and gentlemen of the class of 2024, wear sunscreen. If I could offer you only one tip for the future, sunscreen would be it. The long-term benefits of sunscreen have been proven by scientists, whereas the rest of my advice has no basis more reliable than my own meandering experience. I will dispense this advice now. Enjoy the power and beauty of your youth. Oh, never mind, you will not understand the power and beauty of your youth until they've faded. But trust me, in 20 years from now, you'll look back at photos of yourself and recall in a way you cannot grasp now how much possibility lay before you and how fabulous you really looked. Don't worry about the future or worry, but know that worry is as effective as trying to solve an algebra equation by chewing bubble gum. The real troubles in your life are apt to be things that never crossed your worried mind, the kind that blindsides you at 4 p.m. on some idle Tuesday. Don't be reckless with other people's hearts, and don't put up with people who are reckless with yours. Don't waste your time on jealousy. Sometimes you're ahead, sometimes you're behind. The race is long, and in the end, it's only with yourself. Don't feel guilty if you don't know what you want to do with your life. The most interesting people I know didn't know at 22 what they wanted to do with their lives. Some of the most interesting 40-year-olds I know still don't. Maybe you'll marry, maybe you won't. Maybe you have children, maybe you won't. Maybe you'll divorce at 40, maybe you'll dance the funky chicken on your 75th wedding anniversary. Whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance, and so are everybody else's. Enjoy your body. I don't have to tell you that probably. Use it everywhere you can. Don't be afraid of it or what other people think of it. It's the greatest instrument you'll ever own. Get to know your parents. You'll never know when they'll be gone for good. Be nice to your siblings. They're your best link to your past and the people most likely to stick with you in the future. Accept certain inalienable truth. Prices will rise. Politicians will philander. You too will get old. And when you do, you'll fantasize that when you were young, prices were reasonable, politicians were noble, and children respected their elders. Respect your elders. Don't expect anyone else to support you. Maybe you have a trust fund, maybe you have a wealthy spouse, but you never know when either one might run out. Don't mess too much with your hair, or by the time you're 40, it will look 85. Be careful whose advice you buy, but be patient with those who supply it. Advice is a form of nostalgia. Dispensing it is a way of fishing the past from the disposal, wiping it off, painting over the ugly parts, and recycling it for more than it's worth. But trust me on the sunscreen. We've almost come to the end of this session, and 25 candidates received their master diplomas. And before you go to your well-deserved celebrations, I have two more important points for you. So although we checked the information in your binders very carefully, please double check this. There is also always the possibility that there is a mistake in your name, there is an attachment missing, grades are not exactly right. Then get in touch with the Board of Examiners as soon as you can. So please check that. In about 3 weeks, a link of the pictures that are being taken today will be sent to your email account by the alumni office, and you can download those. So it was a great pleasure for me to be the first one to congratulate you today. And from this place, of course, I would also like to congratulate all the parents that are here, grandparents, families, friends, siblings. I can imagine that you're all very eager to congratulate him or her, your master in the family personally, and therefore I'm going to invite you to go to the Grand Café Soirin after the session here. You will find vouchers or coins in your binders for drinks. And since we all started this session officially with the gavel, I'm also going to close this officially with the gavel. So, congratulations, go out, celebrate.